Hello, ladies and Germans, how are you all doing? This is Con Ulrich, and I'm coming to you after so many weeks of not having it. We have ourselves some Company of Heroes 2, guys. This is in the wake of the whole December game, I dare say. I want to double check that real quick. Yes, it is. This is after the December patch, so this community patch. We are in the new year. If you haven't been back since last year, Happy New Year to you. But in any case, let's get to the game right now. So, on the field of Kholodny Ferma, today we have ourselves playing as the Wehrmacht Insane DevM. He's bringing onto the fray a Mechanized Assault Doctrine, Mobile Defense Doctrine, and Lightning War Doctrine. His opponent over here on the eastern side clearly rocking out with that USF play. It's going to be Romeo. He's bringing on in Infantry Company, Rifle Company, and Airborne Company. Now, there's a ridiculous amount of changes that have happened here. I mean, I'm sure some of you guys out there will say, oh, it's really not that bad. But the Wehrmacht, for example, well, they've got some really big tech switches going on here. And I mean, well, a big shift in how to go later and later into the game. So as you can see right here, the normal tech up to Battle Phase 1 isn't too modified, but this goes up to from 145 to 290, so that way you can better kind of just jump into that last little bit of Battle Phase 3, which is more or less fair, because some people don't really tend to go to that. They rush to 2 and just kind of sit on that for the rest of the game. In addition to that, though, I mean, here's the question. I mean, the rifle on the other side, though, do they have any issues with themselves now? Well, yes. They no longer have that smoke grenade, so watch DevM. I cannot say this for sure, but I cannot help but wonder if he's not going to go and start trying to pop on out maybe a couple machine guns to really suppress those early American forces. And we have the first meeting engagements happening already. Pioneers facing off against Riflemen. That's not going to go too well for those Pioneers until now they're in cover, so it should be a little bit easier for them. But Sniper is moving on in. This Boogeyman will cause a lot of issues for these Riflemen to the north. He's just trying to get into range just about now, and not quite getting there. Okay. In the meantime, though, Grenadiers popping on out, but Romeo going for that standard Rifleman kind of build. No need to really kind of change, but, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But there's a lot of things going on here, guys, so please forgive me if we miss some of your favorite changes. I'll try to do my best to remember to put this in the description below the video. I may not, just unfortunately, because, you know, mind ain't what it used to be sometimes, but I'll work on that. In the meantime, though, we're going to have, well, Riflemen are moving on into the center part of the map, looking to take back their strategic point, as not going to be really, nope, never mind, we are going to see some pressure there. Romeo says, screw it. I don't care about territory, at least not right at the moment. I just want to surround you and encase you in a cornucopia of love and rifle fire. And you see it is right now, the Germans are getting pressured quite significantly. Their sniper's getting pushed on back. At least he's got a couple of kills to his name. Yeah, he's got at least one headshot, so that's nice there. But the Germans no longer have connection to their fuel point, and the Americans, well, they're just swimming in fuel, as might be their way during the war. But he's only doing that with 4 squads, and that's starting to cause some issues here. Grenadiers in this house shoving back against those Riflemen, and wow, rear echelon's getting pinged pretty quickly. The combination of the Riflemen, Grenadiers, as well as that Sniper. Riflemen are not getting microed appropriately here. Time to fall back. Time to fall back. I mean, Grenadiers aren't looking too hot either, but these guys are super close, and there goes a Rifleman squad. So Romeo dropping an early squad. I think he was tunneling on trying to take out these Pioneers back here. Might be able to do so still, but Grenadiers are at least able to cause some issues for them, and going to force them back as well. So Romeo had played a very aggressive early part of this game, but now he is paying the price for such rampant aggression. I feel very nervous for him, but you know what? Romeo's a decent player. He can come back from this. In the meantime, this lone Grenadier, he is still trying to cap out this position. Though with a Lieutenant coming out, as well as a fairly early, oh my gosh, I must say M8, no, M20, excuse me, M8 with that Greyhound, wouldn't it? M20 coming on out. Well, Germans don't really have a whole lot on the field to really cause an issues just yet. They do have those early Panzerfaust, of course. And, you know, that's really about it. He has to make sure he has a lot of munitions, though, in the field to take care of that. And he's not going to secure it here. You can see right now that while that Sniper is going to cause some headshots, Germans are not going to control his position for at least, you know, 15, 20 seconds pretty easily. Rear echelon should back up pretty darn soon, though. You know, to the north, well, Grenadiers are going to try to exchange firepower with these Riflemen. And really being so close up and personal, normally I would go to the to the Rifleman, but that Sniper, it's just causing so many issues. How many shots do you have now? 8 shots, 8 kills. That guy is a machine. And here's a munitions point going in favor of the Germans. And with that, well, Germans are taking a fairly good position in terms of munitions. Fuel is less so. And the increase of this lieutenant over here is going to continue to cause issues for those grenadiers, forcing them on back. Now, yep, going to battle phase 1 right now. So pioneers are hanging on back, just ready to start pinking on down some good old-fashioned light mechanized company, and that should be kind of interesting right there. Now, we do actually want to make a call out as well that bundle grenades for both the Wehrmacht and the OKW, well, they're getting a bit of a buff. Going down in cost. Oh my gosh, never mind, guys. Forget that. Sniper's probably going to go down here, getting chased like crazy. And there's DevM's calling it out right now. Rip it indeed. There goes that sniper. So that early anti-infantry play. Well, you have to pay the piper sometimes. But you know what? We are barely 6 minutes in, and it's just been so much death and destruction already. Ambo coming on out for Romeo. Good call right there. His guys are getting pretty hammered here. I cannot help but hope that these grenadiers will throw down a quick Faust to the north, even as they're coming under pressure from the south. Oh, that's Wehr echelons. Never mind. And there's the Faust. It damaged the engine indeed. So, there's about a good amount of hurt still on those grenadiers, but, yeah, I think it's better to just think that discretion is the better part of valor. Grenadiers being pressured on back, but we are going to see a very early LMG. And that should give a lot for those riflemen to think about. And it's nice to see that this hasn't just been camp church play here. But the Americans do have their fuel back in supply. But the Germans as well are bringing in some of their own light vehicles. So while that M20 is going to cause some issues with that machine gun, 222 should still be more than enough to pressure back those riflemen and co. Only ones he really has to worry about right now are these guys armed with those Zooks. Meanwhile, Germans are going to be able to... Oh, not going to barely be able to decap just in time, but they might have the numbers... Nope, never mind. That BAR is going to give them a hideous edge in firepower. And there go the Grenadiers. 222 is hitting the field, though, and now he's going to be able to turn fire onto that M20. Problem with this is that if we have riflemen close enough, we will see those anti-tank rifle grenades. And that'll be not so bueno. And they're getting pretty darn close to that as well. If the M20, excuse me, the 222 can keep them at range, that should alleviate a lot of these problems. And they're finally, after long last, guys are going into that church to pray. I don't think God is listening, though. In the meantime, we are going to the 222 is going to continue to maraud around the map. He's already picked up 1-star veterancy. He's been on the field for, what, like 30 seconds? And he's already doing that well. Germans as well are going to take a 2-0 cap advantage here, stealing back the point the Americans had, and while they might be giving up one to the north, well, they hold that middle. And holding the middle, if you know you're Napoleon, is definitely the prime position. You can rotate north or south as easily as you need to. They are also going to steal this munition point to the south, although they look like they might be sacrificing control of the north for that. And there's that medical station. It's a little bit later than what we're used to seeing, but again, with the new patch, I guess guys are still trying to figure out a lot of their earlier builds. Faust? Faust indeed. I think this M20 is not going to be long for this world. Well, Pioneers are going to get hit rather severely here. Okay, the 222 should be dropping it, but no, it's going to be a smoke grenade coming on out instead. Riflemen are going to be in the area, though, for the anti-tank rifle grenades, but does go down. But Zook is hitting the field, so those guys have not lost a ton of combat efficiency. Just as good in any case. Pioneers are going to go down on retreat. Lieutenant, well, Lieutenant's not going to be able to throw out any sort of, well, finishing blow here. And the 222 limps away. Question is, DevM does not bring in another Pioneer. Preferring, up there we go, probably to bring it up. There's the Pioneer squad. That's a good call. And there goes the fuel away from the Americans, so well done there by the Germans. And I'm kind of wondering, will DevN rush to that battle phase 2 then? I think that might be a good call. 222, of course, is not going to hold up well against the later game material from the Americans, but it is worth noting it's even more so now as that Jackson's been getting a fair amount of buffs. Ooh, an airborne company being brought on in, so wonder if we'll see an airdropped M57. M1, wow, 57 mil M1, though. Wow, geez, I have no idea where M57 came from. I apologize, guys. It's been a little bit of time since I've been back on the battlefield here. But 10 minutes in, it has been, you know, non-stop action, I'd like to think. These two guys going at each other like rabid weasels. Yes, you heard me, rabid weasels. Germans, in the meantime, will take both munitions point and should be able to take this fuel point without too much of a molestation. Americans will decap the northern side, Germans ibid on the south, and the Americans will take some munitions away from the Germans. So all in all, Germans still come out on top fairly easily here. Oh, we can actually see some paratroopers coming on in. Question is where? Center part of the field? Back near base? Back near base, interesting. Well, he just wants to have those guys down and hit in the field. Once they come on in, we will see, of course, probably those Thompsons, and those guys are devastating with those. Vehicle crew is just sitting back and trying to go and ping off that 222. 222, of course, keeping guys at range is a great call right there. And there are those Thompsons coming on, and those guys are disgustingly good up close. DevM is just going to give up his fuel point to the north, just preferring to steal the territory in the south and just hanging on out. Rifle grenade coming on out. Ooh, blowing apart that cover, as well as poor G.I. Joe right there. And you can see what's happening right about now. Body blocking those grenadiers as they back on up, and yet not getting those Thompsons out just yet. Those carbines more than enough, though, doing some deadly, deadly work. And the Americans will probably start taking off, at long last, some tickets away from the Germans. And there's those Thompsons. So those guys are now crazy, crazy good. Meantime, 222 rotates to the north, continues to actually cause a lot of issues, I would say, for the Americans. Because, well, you're not going to be able to get all of that firepower in where it needs to be. Grenadiers trying to force back those paratroopers, and we'll do a decent job of it. New sniper coming on in, well, he's picked off another headshot. So the question is, can he take off another one on the retreat path? Maybe no. Okay, you could just start putting fire into these vehicle crew, and that'd be just as good, I would think. In the meantime, Germans will take fuel point back to the north, Americans will take the fuel point back to the south, and, you know, several bodies later, have it really changed a whole lot? Not that much. There had been a very, very anticipatory rifle grenade thrown at that garrison, but Romeo did not, I repeat, did not fall for it. Unfortunately, though, we did not see either the Americans take that center position, and as such, the Germans remain in very, very good control of this game so far. Whew! That half a second to breathe now. After 13 minutes, we are finally getting a chance to breathe. I would apologize, guys. I know you guys know that I'm very busy, and I know you guys appreciate that. I will continue to try to put up some more of these casts. Actually, I'm going to be casting a couple more after this. And I keep an eye out in the forums to get some new material out to you. Especially no individuals like Williams out there have not been given a whole lot of co-action recently. And anticipating another tank or some sort, seeing a teller mine to the north. I'm not sure it's really the most necessary, but DevM, well, he's just trying to at least rotate through something else. Finally going to see a tech up as well. Yep, there's Battle Phase 2. And the Germans are going to drop their strategic point to the south. The VP is going to get picked on up. But at least they've taken away the fuel from the Americans. So that's its own level of victory right there. Sniper, another headshot. There we go. And the Americans get pushed on back. Now, with that in mind, though, we will see these poor pioneers will be retreating back through an awful lot of firepower. Just rifles, thankfully. But these paratroopers, well, these guys are going to cause an issue. Yep, these guys are going to go down. That's a big drop right there. That's 3 stars of veterancy. That's a big loss right there. The Germans, though, finally are losing a couple of tickets. 498, 497 to 344. Major is on the field as well. So, guys, we're going to see some late-game tanks. In probably another few minutes. That's not quite coming up just yet, but, you know, soon enough. And that sniper just continues to assert his dominance right here, but the Grenadiers get forced on back. It's been a fair number of squad wipes, I'm surprised to say. And not the same level of veterancy that we're used to seeing out of all of these more visible players. In the south, in the meantime, Lieutenant's going to get forced on back, and the Germans will retake this southern VP. Although they have not really imposed their will across the entire battle space. Of course, as I say that, I have to, you know, really check back and remind myself They are holding this territory point, which means the Americans have 0 fuel generation. It is pathetic. Only plus 10. They should be seeing way more than that. Vehicle crew is going to try to put pressure onto that 222, and they'll do pretty well with it. But a support armor corps is out, which means, guys, we are headed right for that P4. And that is going to be scary because Romeo is not going to get himself any kind of Shermans anytime soon. Keep that in mind as well that DevM still has not picked his whole doctrine here. It is that first P4 going to be hitting the field, and the Americans have nothing. They have a bazooka and they have rifle grenades. That is not going to be enough. Not by any stretch of the imagination. It's going to be lightning war. Interesting decision right there. Does that mean we're going to be seeing upgrades with the G43s? We do have LMGs, or we at least had a couple of LMGs on the field. Those are gone, and actually, I don't think no one dropped those either. So that's a minor issue. Rifle grenade came on out, just took out some cover instead. That's probably a pretty good one nonetheless. Meanwhile, though, these other poor guys, well, they're not quite able to stand up to rifle fire from this close. And yep, he's going to back away. Body blocks, not doing anything, and there they go. Major is out in the field, which might give you an idea about how dire some of the circumstance is here. And he does, wow, he actually takes out an entire model by himself here. But out in negative cover, ooh, this guy's got it back up right now. 3 stars of veterancy with 11 kills on him. He's almost aspiring to his first star. And 222 is laughing as these riflemen Lieutenant tries to push him on back. P4 hitting the field, which means that those Americans, they don't have anything. And that's why they're calling it an M157 mil as we speak. Dropping it right back down at home base, and that's a good call right there, I would say. Box any second. No box? There's the box, okay. How it fits in there, I will never know. But you know what? The Acme Corporation is doing wonderful things these days. Moving to the south, though, that little armored spearhead, well, the Americans cannot stand up to it. You can see it right now, that rapid-firing autocannon as well. Wow, as that rumbly, tumbly metal beast. That's causing some issues. Zook shot and the M1 are now up and running, and they're going to fire that ridiculously good, discarding Sabo rounds. But you gotta hit it first. You gotta hit it first.
Krauts are taking one of our points.
And while this P4 right here is just kind of rumbling around, he's hitting buildings, he's crushing some, he's just destroying others. Property values are going down like crazy in Kholodny Ferma. But at least it's not the winter. At least it's not the winter. So here's the question. Is DevM really going to wait and just kind of play for the long game and go for that Tiga? I mean, that'd be nice, but it's going to take forever and a day for him to get to it. I'm not sure we're going to see that happening. It looks like he's setting up a surprisingly stiff resistance here. Okay, well, we're going to see ourselves some RD barrage coming on in. Those guys got to back on up. That's a good call right there. But despite the fact that they're rushing forth a ton of numbers, and there's really no machine guns here, they're taking some heavy losses to do it. One squad's been forced away already. Those vehicle crew, well, surprised he's not been picked on off. Not quite yet. Okay, well, they might be able to take back this one position by itself, but they don't control the fuel anymore. M1 is trying to fire at the P4, misses low. 483 to 241 to trip cap over here for the Germans. And that is really, really hard to get back from. There's no way they're going to get a tank in anytime soon, so they'll be last thing trying to figure out on the 57 mils. And again, that infantry anti-tank, and they just don't have it. And that's the M1 getting decrewed, and the Germans just might as well just destroy it. He's not going to just yet. I think he's more concerned about the actual numbers of troops on the field before he really tries to kill. Well, there goes the ambo. So, yep, there's been some engine and a little bit of crits here. Engine crit, that's lovely and all, but another P4 is coming on in, folks. And that's going to be the death knell over here for Romeo. There's no way he's going to come back from this. 222 continues to loft rounds down range. And while the P4 has not picked up any veterancy just yet, well, this guy has, and he is just going to shred. Wow, P4, and then shockingly enough, that has not killed that last model. Riflemen are stumbling on forwards. I don't know what they're trying to do. They have forced back the Germans for a couple of seconds, but that is literally all it is a few seconds of rest. The respite will not be enough. and one transitioning down to the southern side of the map, trying to get eyes on this P4, and I think these pioneers are going to get caught on out, maybe even taken out by the approaching paratroopers and anti-tank gun. Now, it would be an interesting play to try to throw down something like a strafing run, but it's only vehicles, so what does it matter, right? P4 continues to fall back, provide covering support for these pioneers. And these guys, well, they do have grenades, but it's not a whole lot of use against that metal beast. Another P4 is hitting the field as well. That guy's already getting upgraded with his MG42, so that's great. And, yep, well, while these paratroopers will be very, very good against the Grenadiers, the cheaper Grenadiers, by the way, their pop cost has gone down quite a bit. I would kind of like to see a rifle grenade here. I would lose these guys to just get a rifle grenade off on this. It might happen anyway. Grenadiers do go down. But he's been stunned on up. Grenade going on out. Dies anyway. Good gosh. There goes the paratroopers. And there goes the anti-tank gun. Now there's a lieutenant with one model. There's a major with two. Now, to be fair, the major has gotten a fair amount of experience right now. You can see, geez, he's got 3 whole kills. But this right here, folks, this is the swan song for the American forces. Grenadiers, they may have been lost again and again. And indeed, I can't help but wonder if we see something like, should have been relief infantry or something like that posted on through. There goes P4. The newer one, by the way. But the Americans are still down as a trip cap. They don't have the infantry to push on through. They don't. They turn this around quite a bit, and while they're taking back some positions to the south, they're only just getting a Sherman now. Yikes. Yikes. They might be able to take the center position, and that'd be just oh so lovely. But again, Junker coming on in close air support, the 37mm cannons. Gonna have a P4, they're gonna have Shreks in every direction, excuse me, Faust in every direction. Shreks is the wrong group here. But you can't stand up to firepower of that magnitude. Not if you want to expect to live.
Here goes. Gather around the bazooka. We're losing a capture point.
Yes, you are. And you gotta hand it
Our supply line just
to the super brave vehicle crew. These guys have gotten 2 stars being outside of their vehicle the entire time. In the meanwhile, though, P4 rotating up to the north, gonna put pressure on these riflemen.
Sherman ready.
Throws into the soil, but he does enough, you know, scariness. These guys fall on back, so that's lovely there. And Major, well, Major should fall back too. He's not going to, and that's going to be a bit of a shame for him. Fuel comes back into control of the Germans, and there's no other P4 being called in just yet. Americans desperately trying to hold on to take this last little bit of position. Major goes down,
Lost an infantry unit.
and that's a major disappointment right there. 57mm has been recruit? No.
Overrunning one of our capture points.
It can't be a recruit, can it? That'd be insane. But here comes a Junker with 37mm. That's a lot of damage. Okay, it could be a Shrek. It can be a Faust. It can just be, looks like another, you know, gun run. P4 goes down. Those goes the Sherman, though, as well. And there's still a 2-0 cap. And the Germans just can laugh. They can just continue to lose bodies. If they trade 1 for 1 in terms of squads, in terms of vehicles, they still come out ahead. They still come out ahead. They will lose a center position for a couple of seconds here, but guys, this is over. This is done. I'm gonna kick this up at speed 2. Riflemen should really fall back here.
We're down to 50.
Oh, honey bunny, you ain't lasting too much longer than that. I don't care if you're bleeding like a stuck pig or not. 57mm trying to set on up, trying to go after that 222. Not gonna happen. And Grenadiers coming around the church. And this holy ground ain't gonna matter. Hopping into the church, hopping out of the church, putting pressure into these lieutenant. Lieutenant's gonna fall back.
A capture point is under attack.
They got outraged!
And it's good that the Americans are almost dead anyway, because I can see a Tiga coming on in pretty darn soon. I'm surprised he hasn't called it in already. Both these guys, so there's the Tiga. Both these guys sitting on well, until now, under 40 pop cap total. It's incredible. We're seeing such small army sizes. See, the second they would have bigger armies, they just die immediately. There goes the 57mm. Riflemen are just kind of rushing on forwards in a final desperate attack. Paratroopers being dropped down to the south.
Jump complete.
But Tiga's just rumbling on through. He's not going to have any issues whatsoever. Grenadiers. Well, I guess a rifle grenade would be kind of nice. Yes, no, maybe so. Ooh, wow. Teller Mine explodes under the feet of this unfortunate vehicle crew. And Romeo, well, he's not finding his Juliet tonight, my friends. In fact, he's going to be, I think he's going to be having dinner with the angels.
Just wasted some of our riflemen.
And that's the GG called right there. With the Tiga, Tiga gets no kills. In fact, I think he fired one burst of his machine gun, and that's it. And that's the tap out from Romeo. So, guys, thank you so much for joining me for a rather quick match of Company of Heroes. A dominant performance by insane DevM. I have another one of his games I'm going to be doing pretty darn soon. I always appreciate you guys coming on out. I hope you haven't been able to kick the habit just yet about Company of Heroes 2. More action's coming your way soon. But for now, I'm signing on off. So this has been Connorwork, and I'll see you guys all soon. Take it easy.